Hello and good evening. This is a day that could see a new beginning in the usually hot and cold relations between two Asian giants, and you're watching today's headlines with me, Karan Thapar. It's Narendra Modi's biggest test in diplomacy. The arrival of the Chinese president in Ahmedabad today has presented Mr. Modi with a challenge he has to take head on. Interestingly, it was Sabarmati diplomacy that Modi chose to overwhelm his guest with, an extravaganza the likes of which Ahmedabad has never seen.
If one shot could define President Xi's Sabarmati visit, this is it. Leaders of two not-so-friendly nations enjoying a candid moment. But the visit to Sabarmati Ashram and the Sabarmati riverfront on day one of Xi's visit were replete with such photo ops with Modi. It was Narendra Modi on a diplomatic overdrive, intent on displaying the cultural powerhouse that India is. Playing the perfect host, Modi welcomed President Xi shortly after the two had separated after signing 3 MOUs. With the day's business done, Modi unleashed a cultural extravaganza on the Chinese president and his wife. In visuals reminiscent of Modi's Japan trip earlier this month, a time when Japanese Premier Shinzo Abe took Modi around a temple, it was Modi who personally escorted Xi for more than 2 hours. The visit to Gandhi Ashram had President Xi paying respects to the Mahatma, trying out the charkha, being given gifts by Modi. The second cultural fiesta was across the specially cleaned Sabarmati River. At a riverfront specially spruced up for the Chinese dignitaries. The Chinese couple were treated to a plethora of Gujarati cultural shows, with several bonding moments for Modi and Xi. They sat on swings. They had their talks on the banks of the river. They enjoyed cultural shows together. The cultural extravaganza climaxed with Modi and his state guest entering the super luxury tent for dinner. The menu reportedly had more than 150 vegetarian dishes, just an appetizer for the main course in Delhi on Thursday. With Gaurav Sawant in Ahmedabad, Bureau Report, Headlines Today.
While Narendra Modi and Xi Jinping enjoyed their walk along the Sabarmati waterfront, Indian and Chinese officials held a flag meet in Chushul to discuss the incursions along the line of actual control. After the cultural extravaganza in Ahmedabad, attention shifts to New Delhi tomorrow. The big question is, will India talk tough to China?
Behind the bonhomie, there is tension. Just days before Chinese President Xi Jinping's arrival, China provoked with incursions along the line of actual control. In Ladakh's Demchok, the Chinese have objected to India's attempt to harness water resources. And in Chumar, China wants India to vacate a position overlooking a new road that it has built. These border skirmishes that will take center stage on Thursday when Narendra Modi and Xi Jinping meet in Delhi. But the question is, can India be aggressive with China?
चाइना ने अपनी इंटेंशंस क्लियर कर दी हैं मैप के ज़रिए और अपनी प्रेजेंस के ज़रिए, जो अभी हाल में चुमार और देमचुक में उन्होंने काफ़ी मात्रा में की है। तो चाइना कितना भारत की बात मानेगा और चाइना कितना दोस्ती का हाथ बढ़ाएगा और कहाँ तक बढ़ाएगा, ये कहना मुश्किल है।
There have been over 300 transgressions on the LAC by the Chinese just this year, and the highest number of incursions have been in Chumar, beginning from Daulat Beg Oldie sector in eastern Ladakh in April last year. In June too, China tried to intrude through the Pangong Lake. Demchok in Ladakh became a new target in June this year, followed by Butse. And Demchok once again the latest point of intrusion by the Chinese army on September 11th.
Amra Shrikhand after Mattha Dhokla Khandvi was India's effort to put in some sweetness in the Sino-Indian relations. But the contentious border dispute, the long border from Arunachal Pradesh to Ladakh and repeated Chinese incursions are a major bone of contention between India and China. India is expected to strongly take up this issue, not just for a tactical solution to the present incursion in Demchok, but for a permanent solution of the boundary dispute if 21st century has to be Asia's century. With cameraman Alok Bhatnagar, Gaurav Sawant in Ahmedabad for Headlines Today.
A midnight swoop on protesting students played out inside the prestigious Jadavpur University. Kolkata police stormed the campus to break a gherao of the Vice-Chancellor at 2 a.m. He was rescued amid total chaos and ugly clashes. 35 students were rounded up, but the protesting students claimed there was a TMC police conspiracy to forcibly break a peaceful protest against the university's cover-up in a sexual abuse case.
A midnight police swoop on a peaceful student protest, and it happened at Kolkata's prestigious Jadavpur University, right under Mamata's nose. The only fault of these students was demanding justice for a fellow student sexually abused on campus. After the sit-in was broken up using force, the blame game began. Students alleged that Trinamool workers raided the campus with police, a charge countered by the Vice-Chancellor, who says that not all protesters were students. Students claim it was a peaceful sit-in, but the university argues that top officials were held hostage for hours and the police only came to rescue them. The protesters allege excessive use of force. The Vice-Chancellor says he was the one hit by protesting students.
Right now, after whatever happened, after the lathi charge, after the molestation case, people have been picked up, arrested, there are people in the hospitals. We just want the VC to resign right now.
They were so unruly, and at the end they became totally unruly, and our members, CC members and others, they became ill, and I had to call the police to rescue us.
But here's the story the images reveal. Exactly at 2 a.m., the police arrives with some men and women who are not in uniform. The gates of the Gherao office open, and these alleged outsiders are pushed inside one by one. The gates close, and the crackdown begins. Students are forcibly removed, the gates open once again, and these alleged outsiders are seen escorting the Vice-Chancellor out.
ভাইস চ্যান্সেলরকে ডেকে কথা বলার জন্য যে কি এটা এর জন্য হয়েছে এবং আমি যতদূর জেনেছি যে পুলিশকে আরেকটু ধৈর্য দেখানোর উচিত ছিল।
We are standing right outside the chamber of the Vice Chancellor of Jadavpur University. As you can see, students are still sitting out here outside his office. This is exactly where they were holding their dharna, their agitation all through last night when the university authorities finally gave call to the police and the police came here. There was a mild lathi charge to disperse the students who were agitating outside the Vice Chancellor's office. As you can see, they are still sitting here.
As the day unfolded, the students filed an FIR against the Vice-Chancellor and made sure their comrades were released. And they even announced a class boycott till the Vice-Chancellor steps down. But the protests have already raged for 20 days, and it seems that Didi's government isn't willing to concede any campus ground on the matter. With Indrajit Kundu in Kolkata, Shiv Aroor for Headlines Today.
A major twist in the multi-crore Sharda chit fund scam. Former Assam top cop Shankar Barua who was questioned by the CBI in connection with the case last month, allegedly committed suicide today. The authorities are tight-lipped, especially because Barua could have been the crucial link to establish Sharda's alleged nefarious nexus with several influential bureaucrats in Assam.
Former Assam DGP Shankar Barua's death comes just days after he was interrogated by the CBI in connection to the Sarda chit fund scam. His family members say he was not doing well, and there are also reports that he may have been under depression. That's the reason why he was admitted to one private hospital in Guwahati. It was only today that he was released from hospital, and soon after which the incident took place. His close associates found him lying in a pool of blood in his Guwahati residence. He was soon rushed to the hospital where doctors declared him brought dead. Shankar Barua was not only interrogated by the CBI, but his Guwahati residence was also raided and his bank accounts were checked by the central agency. His name first surfaced after one of the Sarda officials, Dibon Deka, who was a publisher of Sarda's newspaper Shakal Bala in Assam, named him, alleging that he was the key person who provided protection to various Sarda officials who were involved in nefarious activities in the state. He also said that Sarda Realty CEO Sudeep Ghosh Dasidar acted as the link between Sudeep Sen and the Assam DGP. Shankar Barua's death does come in as a huge setback for the CBI, which is trying to ascertain and establish key beneficiaries in this multi-crore chit fund scam. CBI officials say that the modus operandi continues to be the same in each and every state, to rope in influential people into the scam so that the system could have been diverted. That's the reason why CBI officials say they have arrested Rajat Majumdar, the former DGP of police in West Bengal, who is providing them crucial links into the scam, and they hoped Shankar Barua would have been able to do the same as far as Assam is concerned. With camera person Tapus Baidi, Indrajit for Headlines Today in Kolkata.
Major embarrassment for Indian gymnastics just ahead of the Asian Games. A woman gymnast has accused her coach Manoj Rana and Asian Games-bound gymnast Chandan Pathak of harassment. It could be yet another case of official apathy. But the Sports Ministry was forced to take notice after the case exploded in the media.
मेरे पास आकर बदतमीजी शुरू की और बोलना शुरू किया कि सफ़ेद है सफ़ेद, और दोनों मेरे इनरवेयर्स को डिस्कस करने लगे.
An all too familiar experience for many women in India. But the shocker is that this was happening at a gymnastics camp. The accused, an Asian Games-bound gymnast Chandan Pathak, who was encouraged and assisted in the shameful act by his coach Manoj Rana.
जो प्लेयर जिमनास्ट है वो अपने कोच के साथ मिलकर ये हरकतें कर रहा है, एंड कोच पूरा उसको सपोर्ट कर रहा है, एंजॉय कर रहा है, मुस्कुरा रहे हैं, मेरी तरफ बहुत गंदी तरह से देख रहे हैं.
The incident took place on September 2nd and came to light just hours before the Indian team was to leave for South Korea for the upcoming Asian Games. And what's even more disgusting is that despite repeated complaints from the victim, the Gymnast Federation of India allegedly did little about it. The woman also kept sitting for hours in the police station before she was taken seriously and an FIR was lodged. Now Delhi police has promised to investigate this matter fully.
See, the whole thing will be examined on merit, and whatever is warranted will be done to ensure justice in the matter.
And after the media focus on the story, the Sports Ministry too finally took notice. This news comes just a month after a wrestling official was accused of sexual harassment during the Glasgow Games. The cops have started their work. The two accused have been called back for further investigation. But it remains to be seen if justice indeed will be meted out, if a precedent will be set in the matter. Sports Bureau Headlines Today.